The 2025 tight end class has so many different players that I believe can be instant contributors at the NFL level. We've talked about so many different guys in this class who have a lot of potential, but one guy who I've been waiting to do a video on for a few months now is Oregon tight end Terrance Ferguson. Ferguson has been a very reliable receiving threat for the past few seasons and is a guy who I believe can be an instant contributor in the receiving game at the next level. How high could Ferguson hear his name called in the 2025 NFL Draft? That is what we will be discussing in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon page, which I will leave linked down in the description below. For just $5 a month, you guys will get exclusive access to my in-depth draft guide and big board, with over 450 prospects and counting. There, you'll be able to find my written scouting reports, all of the updated combine and pro day numbers, advanced player stats, and so much more. It is one of the best resources on the market, and if you enjoy my work, it's an easy way to support the channel. Leave a comment on this video and let me know which prospects you guys would be most interested in seeing in a future episode, and without further ado, let's take a closer look at Terrance Ferguson. Ferguson has been with Oregon since 2021 and has been a really productive player for the Ducks throughout his college career. In 2023, Ferguson had 42 receptions for 414 yards and 6 touchdowns on the year. He decided to come back and try and win a national championship for the Ducks, but he had a career year in 2024. He finished with 43 receptions, 591 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and after a phenomenal showcase at the Senior Bowl and the NFL Draft Combine, he is a guy who has been rising up draft boards over the past couple of months. The first thing that really sticks out about Ferguson are his movement skills. He is a really solid athlete, and he has some excellent fluidity for the tight end position. He's a really smooth route runner. He gets in and out of his breaks quickly, and he makes some really sharp movements. He also has really great vertical speed, and he tested out really well at the Combine as he was the fastest tight end that tested at this year's Combine. I think he has pretty solid explosiveness and burst off the line of scrimmage, and in terms of overall athleticism, I think Ferguson has a lot to really like about his game. He can stretch the seam vertically, and he's a sharp route runner with the ability to separate. Ferguson is a really solid overall receiving tight end. I think that's where he's at his best. He's a great separator, but he's also a really smart player. He recognizes zone coverage, has good football IQ, and does a good job of settling in the soft spots of zone. He knows how to set defenders up and blow by them as a route runner, and that was on full display at the Senior Bowl. He also has reliable hands and seemingly caught everything that was thrown his way. And once again, I think Ferguson gives you a really high floor as a receiving tight end as early as his rookie season. Ferguson also gives you good versatility for your offense. He played a little bit of everywhere for the Ducks offense, and he played almost an exact 50-50 split of snaps in the slot and snaps in line. I think he has the frame to play in either alignment and be a contributor. As a blocker, it is a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to Terrance Ferguson. When he connects with defenders, he's really solid. He's strong, he hits hard, and he wants to drive defenders into the ground, which I appreciate. However, he leaves a lot to be desired as a blocker. For one, I feel like he's pretty heavy on his feet in the blocking department. He appears very lumbering at times, and because of this, he really struggles to consistently connect with defenders and land impact blocks. He also has a really bad tendency of disengaging early, and defenders are able to bounce off him way easier than I would like to see. He's just not really the all-around blocker that I was hoping for, and I would like to see more from him in that area. However, I think my biggest concern with Ferguson is the lack of physicality. He really struggles to consistently play through contact, and it's really frustrating to watch on tape. For one thing, he does not do a great job of winning 50-50 balls. Ferguson had just a 25% contested catch rate this past season, And even if there's a little bit of contact, he's more than likely not coming down with it. Ferguson is also incredibly limited after the catch. He has pretty lackluster contact balance, and he does not stay upright. And once again, that's just something I don't like about his game. You have to be physical for the tight end position, and he just doesn't have a lot of that at the next level. Ferguson, to me, is a really high floor tight end prospect. He's got size, he's a really solid receiving option, and is a guy who I think can be an immediate starter in the NFL. I don't know how high his ceiling is, but he does have a lot of tools that you look for in that modern day receiving type of tight end, and I like his game. I would like to see him be a better blocker and be a little bit more physical, but even without it, he's my number 5 tight end in the draft class. He's just such a stud all around with a clear projection on what he's going to be in the NFL. In terms of a scheme fit, Ferguson is likely going to be used mostly as a receiving tight end. I think he's a great fit for a vertical scheme and one where he can stretch the field with his speed and make plays happen vertically and play a lot of snaps in the slot. That's where he felt most impactful for the Oregon offense, and I think that's where he is going to see his best success at the NFL level. My player comparison for Terrance Ferguson is Philadelphia Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert. Goedert has very similar skill set. He's a great route runner, he's got good hands, and is a decent to good blocker. This is a comparison I have had since I did my summer evaluation on Ferguson, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Goedert is a solid tight end. He's not elite, but he's really solid all around, and Ferguson has a lot of the same traits, so that's my comparison for him. Terrance Ferguson is a high floor tight end prospect. He's got some of the best hands in the class and really good route running abilities. I think he's a guy that is going to be a good tight end at the NFL level, and ultimately, I believe that Terrance Ferguson will be a top 75 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft.